Hello friends. Let's start for our last week update. So friends, in the last week there are no more updates related to GST, but definitely there are some updates with respect to GST portal we are going to discuss, and three case laws. So one advance ruling, two advance ruling, and one case law related to Mohit Mineral, which is the most discussed case for ocean freight. So this is our today's discussion topics. So let's start today's discussion. First, as discussed, we are going to discuss GST portal amendments because GST portal related amendment, because last week there are no notification, etc. circular issued. Whatever update related which are applicable or amendments which are made applicable by the government from 1st January 2021, we had already discussed in our last two videos. So you can refer that for the all amendments applicable from the 1st January 2021. So that is from new year, and the restriction which are applicable to the taxpayer. So for the last week, major amendment as discussed are related to GST portal. First amendment is related to due date. If you see the GST portal is reflecting for the quarterly filing taxpayer. It is relevant for the quarterly taxpayer. So in case of quarterly taxpayer, GSTR1 due date is reflecting as a 31st January 2021, wherein due date is 13th January 2021. So this reflection on the portal is incorrect, and this is also informed by the GSTN by way of Twitter. In Twitter, they had clarified that the GSTN has reflected for the quarterly filing of GSTR1, that is for the period of October to December. The due date reflected on the portal is 31st January 2021, but which is not correct. The due date is only 13 January. So friends, so GSTN itself has clarified that don't rely on the portal. So whatever due date has been disclosed on the portal, please reconfirm it with the notification or any whether any notification about the extension has been issued or not, or please validate it from your consultant and any other consultant, and be on time for filing of the return. So next, another update related to the portal again. So for, last week, GSTN has issued the advisory for the IFF for the taxpayer who has opted for the QRMP scheme. So what is QRMP scheme? Quarterly Return Monthly Payment Scheme. This is applicable to small taxpayer having turnover less than 5 crores. We had discussed more about this scheme in our last videos. So you can refer last our videos for the more about the scheme. Today we are going to discuss about the advisory which is issued by the GSTN related to the IFF facility under the QRMP scheme. So GSTN has issued an advisory. You can refer that advisory. One critical aspects we are going to discuss in this video. Definitely we are not having much time to discuss total or complete advisory. We will discuss the key aspects. If you are having any query, we can discuss this on call or by way of mail. So one key aspects which can be relevant to all of us is related to the IFF facility advisory. So they had clarified, so GSTN has clarified that the IFF facilities like GSTR1 itself. So if you have, you are opting QRMP scheme and you want to report invoices under the IFF facility, then they had clarified about the tables. So, or usage of the tables or reporting under which table you have to report the invoice. So if you are having a B2B invoice, that is business to business invoice, register invoice issued related to the supply of the goods or services, then that has to be reported under table 4A, 4B, 4C, 6B, 6C. So these are the tables wherein you can report the B2B invoices. Second, in case of debit note or credit note issued, you had to refer table 9B. You report in the table 9B. Table 9A has to be used for the amendment with respect to invoices. So if you have to amend any invoice, then please refer table or please use table 9A. And table 9C is for the amendment of the credit note and debit note. So this is the key aspects, one key aspects which is relevant to all of us related to invoice furnishing facility. Another FAQ. So GSTN has also issued an FAQ with respect to the Aadhaar authentication for the existing taxpayer. So in our last, some of the videos, we had discussed that the registration process under GST has undergone a change, and now biometric and other authentication has included in the registration process. So accordingly, GSTN has issued an FAQ, and these FAQs can be referred if any query. We are going to discuss one critical FAQ which is applicable to existing taxpayers who had already registered under GSTN, or we had already had registered under GST, however not undergone an other authentication. For such a taxpayer, when FAQ has been issued, that FAQ is saying that the existing taxpayer who are not has been who had not yet done the other authentication should get it done. So for existing taxpayer, the pop-up is displayed in their windows, or whenever you log into the GSTN portal, one pop-up get wherein that asks the question that would you like to authenticate the other of the partner, proprietor, or primary authority signature. If you click yes, you can also click that remind me later, but if you click yes, the other authentication screen appears and you have to complete that other authentication. So friends, if you are existing taxpayer and you had registered under the GST earlier, that is the before 1st January 2021, then please do the other authentication if pop-up is appearing, because this could lead to cancellation or suspension of the registration also. So please complete other authentication procedure if you are existing taxpayer. So these are certain portal or key updates related to the portals which are of the last week. So let's start with the key case laws. So as discussed earlier, the topic first we are going to discuss the two advance ruling which could be relevant to all of us, and second Mohit Mineral case which is pending at the Supreme Court, and this is heard in the last week. So let's first related to in the case of Devendra. Gujarat Advanced Ruling Authorities has said that or held that the IGST or observed that the IGST is not applicable for the out to and out transaction with effect from the 1st February 2019. So friend, just to understand what is means by out to out transaction. So let's say my company is in India. So just to understand what is meant by out to out, which is exempt from the 1st February 2019. So my company is in India. I had received an order from the outside country, let's say Bangladesh. One of my Indian company has a parent company presence outside India, let's say Poland. So whatever purchase order received from the Bangladesh, I had given it to the Poland, which is a parent company of Indian company. So now goods are going to be transferred from Poland to Bangladesh, that is outside India, from outside India to outside India. So as an Indian company, I'm only acting as an agent. So in such a cases, what happens? The goods are not moving from the India. So that is, goods are not moving from the taxable territory to non-taxable territory to treat it as an export. So no one can treat it as an export of the goods, and there is no movement in the India. So it can be said that services are provided, and before 1st February 2019, there were no clarification with respect to such a services. Afterwards, the services are now included in the Schedule 3. That is, such a services has no impact, non-GST, one can say. So not supply of the goods as well as not supply of the services has been treated as a non-GST services. So GST is not applicable on such a services, and that is only observed by the Advanced Ruling Authority in the case of Devendra. So what about for the prior period? So for the prior period, one can say it is preferable that the either ITC should be reversed on the on such a services, treating it as an exempt supply, or one can say non-GST supply, because there is no specific clarity about the ITC reversal for the previous period on such a services. If you had not paid GST or not reversed IGST, then whether we can contend or we can litigate. So definitely, but again, that will be depend on the cost benefit analysis. So this is about the transaction, which is out to out transaction, one can say, or wherein there is no movement of the goods from India or from Indian taxable territory to non-taxable territory. So this is an advanced ruling. Next advanced ruling is related to cooperative society, which again could be relevant to many of us. So in case of commercial, in case of capital commercial cooperative society, the Advanced Ruling Authority has said that the maintenance, so whatever the common maintenance, even it is not expended, expended, or it is not, it is kept as a deposit and it is a non-refundable deposit, then also GST is applicable on such a deposit. So the main observation of the Advanced Ruling Authority, one can say it is GST is applicable because it's non-refundable. But friends, the advanced ruling, this advanced ruling specifically ignored the fact of the mutuality or concept of the mutuality in case of the cooperative society. So the concept of the mutuality in case of GST law. So in service tax law, we are also we are having a decision about the service tax is not applicable in case of cooperative society or the members, in case of the members or society, because concept of mutuality. But in GST, we have to test the mutuality concept in the court of the law. And definitely, if any of the cooperative society intend to test in the court of what is the position of the court about the mutuality under GST, definitely can prefer the read, etc. to the court. This is about the cooperative society and GST applicability on case in case of the maintenance and this advanced ruling related to the capital commercial cooperative society. Now, most important case of Mohit Mineral. So everyone knows about the Mohit Mineral. In this case, in the case of Mohit Mineral, Gujarat High Court has struck down the levy of the GST in case of ocean freight on the transportation of goods by the vessel from the place outside India to the place in India. So this against the Gujarat High Court, Revenue has challenged this decision, and now this decision is pending at the Supreme Court, or SLP is pending at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has heard the revenue contention and what Revenue has raised the issues. The first issue raised by the Revenue is that the FCA has, or High Court has not examined the definition of Section 293 related to recipient subclause C. So what is subclause C under 293? In the subclause C under 293, an agent, whenever there is no consideration, an agent can also be treated as a service recipient. So as far as Revenue has raised that this definition has to be looked into before giving an decision about the ocean freight. Second, so Revenue has raised many issues. We are going to discuss two issues. So second contention which a Revenue has took in the Supreme Court is that the scope of Article 279A has required to be considered. What is Article 279A first? So in the Article 279A, the GST Council has a power to recommend and can make the recommendation to the union and the state on the important issues related to the GST, like GST subject, what are the goods are subjected to GST or exempted goods, etc. So recommendation can be made. So as far as Revenue contention is that that scope is required to be looked into before finalizing the decision about the ocean freight. So in this case now, High Court has directed, Supreme Court has directed that the counter affidavits to be filed in the 6 weeks. So in days to come, again the contention of the Revenue as well as the contention of the assessee is going to be heard by the Supreme Court, and on the basis of we could have a decision on the ocean freight. So we are going to discuss update about the Supreme Court decision in days to come also, so that everyone should be aware about the decision in case of the Mohit Mineral. So these are our last week updates. So we'll meet again in the next week. Hope our updates are useful to all of you. In case of any improvement, you can definitely suggest to us. We will definitely